welcome back. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving. The day you're watching this, if you're watching it on Friday after Thanksgiving, we will be celebrating our Thanksgiving with our family. When you come from a big, beautifully blended family, you kind of have to tweak the holiday time get-togethers. So we always do ours on Friday, so it gives us an extra day. And so if you comment down below anything and I don't get back to you, in a timely manner, just please understand that's what's happening, but I will get back to you. With all that being said, we are going to be reading from our book, Raised Devotionals by Ms. Ida Mae Couch. I have my King James Bible here, and today's topic is My Big Adventure. So I'm excited to read this and just to see how God's going to minister to us. So let's just get started. My Big Adventure. During the summer between 8th and 9th grade, I went to visit my sister. She lived near St. Louis and was expecting her first child. The plan was Mom and Dad would take me there over a weekend, and then I would ride a bus back home the next week. I had a really nice visit with my sister that week. It was the week of July 4th, and we went to see the fireworks show. We shopped and watched TV. She worked on a sewing project for the baby's room. She and her husband were talking about baby names, and I remember the very conversation at the dinner table when it was decided that their first child would be, when it was decided what their first child would be named. That was pretty special. All week, I was anxiously anticipating my return trip home, my big adventure. I was barely 14, and I was going on a big trip by myself. It was quite thrilling. My sister took me to the bus station early that day, and we said our goodbyes. I got on the bus and found a seat next to a couple of older ladies. They saw that I was traveling alone and assured me they would help me if I needed anything. I had a bag filled with things to keep me occupied for the long trip home. I had a word search book, some cross-stitching, and a crochet project too. I enjoyed switching from one project to the other as we journeyed along. The bus stopped for lunch at a little cafe. Those sweet ladies made sure I had money for food. I did. And that I was able to get my order placed. They were quite alarmed to see that I had only ordered French fries. I tried to explain that I was a picky eater and I only ordered French fries whenever I went to a restaurant. They were concerned I'd get hungry again. I told them I would be fine. This was a standard procedure for me. With our bellies full, we loaded back on the bus and we were off again. The next stop would be home. The trip hadn't been difficult. There was never a concern. Doing this on my own was what made it so adventurous. When we got close to my hometown, I let the ladies know that I would be getting off soon. They complimented me on how well I had managed and taken care of myself. My dad was waiting for me at the bus stop. My big adventure had come to an end. I felt exhilarated and hoped I could do that again someday. This made me feel like I had accomplished something monumental. And this is where our scripture comes in. It is from 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 12. And it says, "Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers, in word, in conversations, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity." So good. So first things first, how exciting for Miss Ida Mae. That is quite a feat to go on such a trip by yourself at 14. And I mean, times were so much simpler then. I would be so afraid to have a 14-year-old on a long trip by themselves in these days and time we live in. But she was cautious. She did her deed. She took care of herself. And, I do believe the Lord placed those two older ladies there kind of as her guardian angel to take care of her along the way. And that's how good God is, y'all. He will make provisions for us in our life. Provisions that we are not even aware of that are there. And He never leaves anything undone. No doubt in my mind that Ida Mae's mama and daddy and sister had all been praying for her, that the Lord would keep His hand on her, that He would take care of her. Ida Mae herself was probably even praying for the Lord to take care of her. This is a big adventure. She was excited, but, keep her safe. And I have no doubt that's exactly what he did when he provided those two ladies to watch over her. I remember, it reminds me, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I don't even know why, but I remember when I was living in George County in Lucedale, and I was a very young mom with very young babies, and I had got in the car and was going to town, and my car broke down on the side of the road. And bear in mind that my parents owned a convenience store probably about where I broke down to where the convenience store was. It was probably about 4 miles. But it was so scary. And y'all bear in mind also, this was before cell phones, okay? People didn't have cell phones like they do now. I mean, every once in a while you would find somebody that had one of those bag phones in their car. But I remember I had broke down on the side of the road. It was, thank God it was in the middle of the day, but I was so fearful. And we had one of our customers from the store. He drove I think it was a dump truck he drove. And he saw me standing on the side of the road. I didn't know what I was going to do because, I mean, I was like, it had never happened to me before. I was so scared. And I remember him pulling over on the side of the road. And y'all, bear in mind, this man, he was a stout, big, tall. I mean, he could have been a linebacker, okay, for a major football team. He was this big, huge guy. But I recognized him. And as soon as he got out and he started talking to me and checking on me, I instantly felt safe because I knew him. He knew me. And no doubt, the Lord sent him there to, help me. And he ended up, getting the message to my daddy, and my daddy come and, took care of the situation. But I will never forget him and him being there and stopping, and just the sense of relief when I seen him was just like, oh, and that's how it is with God. We can have that sense of relief with God because he is with us at all times. And although we can't see him like with our physical eyes, we can feel him, and he will make provisions for us. He will send people. And, scripture tells us, be careful what you say and do when you're, I forget exactly how it goes, but, sometimes you're entertaining angels unaware. And he will send his angels. He will send his angels to take care of us. And no doubt that's exactly what God did with Miss Ida Mae. And I'm sure this built her confidence. It built her faith and trust in God, because I just know that they prayed about it, And, it helped her in ways that she probably didn't recognize. And I don't even know if she looks at those ladies as her little guardian angels or not. But this is just how I perceive it. But that's just how God is. He leaves no stone unturned. He leaves no detail undone. He does everything perfectly. So if you're in a situation and you're praying, just know that God has got you. He will take care of you. And when he answers this prayer and he brings it to fulfillment the way he does, everything will work out perfectly. You don't have to wonder about that. You don't have to wonder about, well, if he does this, what about this? No. He takes care of all of it. Just like he took care of Miss Ida Mae. Just like he took care of me that day that I broke down on the side of the road. I just thank God for his provisions. I thank God for his protection, his mercy, and his grace. We can truly, fully, completely, 100% depend on him. And I love him for that. I love each and every one of you. I hope that you have an amazing day, amazing weekend. And I will see you back here on the next one. Bye, y'all.